Hey guys, it's Dino. I just wanted to make a video telling you guys what's up and for my transition and all that fun stuff. And my announcement is that I will be starting tea by the end of November. So basically tomorrow at 3:15 p.m. November 3rd, 2011 will be my first tea shot ever. This is my pre-tea voice. It's lovely as right now, but it will be even more lovely as time goes on. Today, I want to document that I got my first shot of testosterone. So this is what my voice sounds like very first day of tea. This is who I am right now. I can't wait to see how it changes in the future. I will be sure to post and make and document many, many, many more videos to come. And I can't wait to look back upon this day and be like, yo, dog, you changed so much. Hey you guys, it's Dino. I just wanted to make a really big announcement before my shot tomorrow. I just got back from the RMV. So what happened was, I am now legally male.
Holy shit, it's been 2 months on testosterone. My voice has dropped. My voice might crack during this video, so I apologize if it does. Hey you guys, it's Dino. Today is Thursday, May 3rd, 2012. On this day marks my 6th month on testosterone. On Monday was my 18th birthday. A lot has happened over the past couple weeks, or 18 years if you call it that, and they kind of all, good and bad, have kind of made me who I am today. Hey you guys, it's Dino. Today is Tuesday, September 4th, 2012, and I've been testosterone for just about 10 months. Shit. Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Friday, November 2nd, 2012, and tomorrow marks my 1 year on testosterone. Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Sunday, June 2nd, 2013. I am 19, and today is exactly 1 year and 7 months on testosterone, and 10 days till top surgery, which is kind of awesome. Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Thursday, June 20th, 2013, and I am currently 8 days post-op. Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Thursday, July 25th, 2013. And I am almost 1 year and 9 months on testosterone, and just over 6 weeks post-op. Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Saturday, May 31st, 2014. So I have been on testosterone for about 2 years and 7 months, and I've been post-op for almost a year. Definitely since having top surgery last year, I'm almost at least for being 20 years old, pretty much at one with myself. I mean, for where I could be in my life at this point. I mean, obviously, at 20 years old, you're not going to know, everything, and I don't really want to know everything. Hey guys, it's Dino. Today is Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021, and today marks a whole 10 years, a decade on testosterone. As you can see by the older videos documenting my voice changes, I used to run a pretty active vlog that was documenting my changes basically through my transition. So it documented from pre-T, started about 2010 or so, about my junior year of high school up until now. My goal for this video is actually to kind of focus more on self-reflection than it is to be about advocacy and education. So I'm going to save those kind of questions for a separate video. As a disclaimer, I want to iterate the fact that I speak from my own unique experience as a trans man. Trans folk come from a wide diversity of perspectives and experiences, and no one person can speak for a whole community of people. So I came out to my parents as a lesbian when I was about 10 years old. I remember they told me, basically, at the time that, yeah, when you're since you were 5, which reflecting back on everything kind of all makes sense because I was like a tomboy growing up. I love Legos, I always had short hair, I liked cars, I still have short hair, I still like Legos, I still like cars. It all just makes sense. As a freshman in high school, I joined a queer youth organization in the area called Bagley, or the Boston Alliance for Queer and Questioning Youth. Through that, I had access to more resources to learn more about my identity. I started binding, actually. Not really because I identified as any one gender, or not one gender. I just kind of like the look of having a flat chest. But then I slowly started to question my gender. I identified at the time as genderqueer, which
is probably a little bit outdated nowadays, but you could probably relate that more to what people call non-binary these days. By the time I was 16, I had legally changed my name to Dino. I was going by he, him, his for pronouns, and I was identifying as male. Fast forward to now, at the age of 27, November 3rd, 2021, I am 10 years on testosterone. It kind of snuck up on me, I guess, because it's something I don't even think about anymore. Like, I am far along enough in my transition that there's not even like a timeline, I guess, anymore. There's nothing to really keep track of besides like literally counting the years as the years go by. It just feels normal to me. I just have to live my life because I've already kind of been there and done that. Which I guess kind of segues into the fact that you don't really see a lot of resources for like adult or mature trans folks who've already kind of like transitioned, I guess. There's not a lot of resources or support groups out there that at least that I know of just to kind of talk about our daily lives as a trans person. And yes, well, I don't have to deal with like figuring out which bathroom I have to go into or whatever as much anymore. I still face things pretty much daily that have to do with me being trans. I really wish that there were more resources out there for trans masculine folks, especially folks who identify as straight, because there are so many nuances out there for the way that we have to navigate the world as guys, essentially. There are so many unwritten rules and societal expectations on us. The second that we fuck up, it feels like hell can break loose, especially within the queer community. And I just wish that we could talk about that amongst our peers. There's such a taboo around it to talk about like masculinity, I guess. Like in the queer community, being masculine these days feels like a fucking like a sin. Like it feels like you're the Antichrist. And for me to be a straight, masculine, cis-assumed trans male is like the ultimate like privilege card, which means that apparently according to the queer community, I have no idea what it's like to be queer, that my experience isn't justified. I've been here a long time. I just really don't like feeling erased in my own community. I don't like feeling othered in my own community. Like the community talks about being inclusive, but they're not inclusive. There really is like a kind of like pitchforks out against masculinity of any kind. People are gonna hate me for that, for saying that, but like whatever, deal with it. One thing that hasn't really changed is pre-T or early on in my transition, I really had to like advocate and fight for myself to like be recognized as a trans person and for people to respect me and my pronouns and my name before I was like taken seriously, I guess. It's still the same thing today, but it's kind of like flipped because people assume all of my privilege. I am still fighting for my right to be respected and recognized as a trans person, but amongst my peers in the queer community. Previously, I was fighting for my right to be recognized as a trans person in like the straight cis community, but now I'm fighting to be recognized as a trans person in the queer community because I am assumed to be cis more often than not. It's still the same fight, but just like rebranded essentially. Because for people to assume that I come from a cis experience kind of invalidates everything about myself, everything that I fought for, everything that I've experienced, like all of the things that I'm aware of in terms of like the nuances of like masculinity and the shit that women go through. And I really don't like being read as cis. I don't. I like being visible. I like being visibly queer, which is a privilege to say, I guess, because there are people who get shit on for that. But I don't like my identity being invisible. I don't like my identity being erased because I belong in this community. It really, really sucks when people don't see that, especially within my own community. It really sucks when people think that I don't belong, especially when I fought for myself and others who have come after me to exist. And I grew up in the queer community, and I spent major formative years as a teenager and young adult really active in the queer community and an activist and advocate, was screaming and yelling and fighting and kicking for my existence essentially. that I feel really connected to the community. And for me to be mistaken as cisgender or not read as transgender within my own community, and it feels like all of the work that I've done and all of the trails that I have blazed and yada yada yada, that feels like it's pretty much ignored or erased, and it sucks. Because I'm very much queer. It's a double-edged sword. Yes, it's great that people view me as cis in some aspects where I don't have to worry about shit anymore. But also, I don't like being viewed as cisgender in queer spaces. I'm queer, very much queer, and I like to be read as queer. I like to know that yes, I exist, I belong here. It's just kind of been an ongoing thing that because I so easily am read as cisgender, I am invisible to my own community. And I don't like it. And I've always kind of been an outcast no matter what community I go in. Like, I am too, like, straight for the queer community, and I'm too queer for the straight community. Like, I don't fit in any one place easily. People sometimes ask me if I had the choice to be reborn as a cis man, would I do that? And I always say no. I am really proud of who I am today. And if I did not have the experience of transitioning, of growing up in one gender and transitioning to another, and understanding like kind of what women go through and what they experience and how that translates to the masculine experience, I would not be the same person. There is so much vibrance within the queer community that I really enjoy. Like, not that like queer people are inherently interesting, but like cis culture is just really boring. I really like what queer people have to offer, I guess. And that's why I feel like I belong in this community. Because I don't know, I would be such a different person if I were cis. And I am an inherent believer on everything that's happened to me, no matter how big or small, or good or bad, has made me who I am today. I would still choose to be raised and born and live my life the way I've lived it so far. Has it been perfect? No, absolutely not. It's not been perfect since so far, but like, I like to think I'm a pretty good person. I like to think that I'm pretty proud of who I am. I'm proud of myself. Me being 10 years on T has been a lot longer than 10 years in the making, you know? Like, I came out as a lesbian to my parents when I was like 10, but I had been facing bullshit from people since I was 5, essentially. Or even younger than that, since I started kind of breaking the norm. I was labeled as a girl growing up, but I was like very much like a little tomboy. I was always breaking the norm, always breaking barriers. I'm really grateful that my parents let me do that. I've always felt like people have doubted me, and I've always kind of been one to be like, no, fuck you, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. It sounds so cliche, but I've always been a fighter, you know? Like, I've always had to fight for my right to exist, I guess. I'm proud of myself for continuing that fight. I don't like when people confuse that like fighting attitude about myself, that go-getter attitude, with me being brave. Honestly, me having to fight to exist was out of pure survival. There's nothing brave about having to survive, I guess, like, because I didn't know any other way. It really, really bothers me when people consider that brave, because it implies that they pity me, I guess. Like, there's nothing brave about me fighting to exist. If I didn't fight to be here, I would not be here. The reason why I fought so hard to exist is because I had no other choice. Again, I want to iterate the fact that I am very privileged. I am a white, cis-passing transgender male who comes from a really supportive family, who grew up in Boston area, who had access to resources into healthcare, and there are so many folks out there who don't have that. Don't consider me brave. Like, I am really fucking lucky to be here. So one of the things I really want to talk about also is how the mainstream media or like social consciousness on like trans awareness has changed over the past 10-15 years or so. I used to like come out to people and it would be like a whole spectacle. You used to have to like brace for impact. There's nothing special about my transness. I'm just Dino. I'm just me, and I don't like how it's a whole spectacle. I just want to be normal. Like I can be special for ways that are not me being trans. Like, me being queer does not make me special. Does not make me interesting. Me being me makes me interesting. I am a very unique and very weird individual, I guess you could say. I am really grateful for everything that I've experienced over these past 10 years, 15 years, 27 years, if it were not for both myself and the people around me, I would not be here today. I'm really grateful and thankful for my parents who let me make that first step as a minor under their care, for letting me start testosterone when I was 17 years old as a senior in high school. That made a huge difference. That is, like, I can't even quantify. Like, I would not be here today if it weren't for that. And for everybody out there who have always sent words of support or have said thank you for being you, it means a lot to me, because while I'm just existing, it's also not easy to exist sometimes. I don't know, man, just like hearing stories from people who, like, you know, will tell me because of you I can come out now, or because of you, like, I can help my family friend who has a kid who's coming out or whatever. It's really cool to hear that from folks. That's kind of why I do what I do. That's kind of why I'm so out here and just want to exist. And I mean, I've never really like thought twice about being open and candid about my transition. Like, it's kind of just how I was raised, was to be open and honest and talk about my feelings. But I also feel that the best way for people to learn and to become advocates about trans and queer issues is by curiosity. It's just by knowing things. Because I would rather you ask me a question about trans stuff than ask the internet sometimes. Because the internet is full of lots of information, but it's not always right information. It's not always the best information. Well, I only speak for myself. I like to think that I speak from a realistic standpoint and not Tumblr. I do this to spread awareness. I do this to be an advocate. I do this to stand up for myself and to be visible for both myself and for others. I do this to be a resource. So while I'm busy as heck, I do want to make more videos at some point, kind of on the more educational side, I guess, like talking about things like Testosterone some more, things about how to be a good advocate or a good ally. Feel free to send me questions or comment or whatever. Like, subscribe, comment, yada yada yada. Or send me an email or a DM or whatever the kids these days do. Yeah, man, I'm out here. I exist still. It has been 10 whole years on T, and I am damn happy to be here.